So quick overview of what we'll be doing here on this big project is moving out of the old small shop, trying to convert this larger shed behind me, 36 by 72, into the new farm shop. Some of the minor things I got to get done here right away is we have got a couple of posts that have pulled away from the concrete. We've got these brackets that we're going to be installing to shore that up. This building originally was set up for feeding cattle, and they had an option where you could put pens in here if you wanted to. So they've got these holes in the floor, a few of them around, for putting posts down to make pens. We got to fill those in with concrete so we have a nice surface out here to work on. Existing concrete is a big reason why I chose this shed. These boards have come off. We got to do some repairs on that and get this door here kind of fixed up. We'll have to figure out a way to get this whole thing pressure washed so we can prep for spray foam insulation. We are also going to be, you can kind of see Dad's cows behind me here, this whole open wall here. We'll be framing that in, adding tin on the outside to fully enclose the space. And then part of that for enclosing this shed will also be this big door behind me. These overhead doors are completely shot, have been for a long time. We'll be putting a custom sized garage door on there to close that off. And we will also need to, in this area, we've got the old bunk concrete that goes all the way down, but it stops here. And this was the ramp, an old access to be able to get into the cattle lot from inside the shed if we needed. So for water prevention and to be able to install our wall properly, we'll be cutting out a little bit of concrete there to pour another piece that matches the existing stem wall sitting there, so we can build the wall on top of that. Then we'll get into obviously electrical and lighting, all those sorts of things as well. So quick little overview what we're going to be doing, and I'll get some different footage and things of kind of how we go about it. Okay, so I wasn't sure why those weren't going in, and I made a silly mistake. 1/2-inch drop-in anchors, never used them before, but seemed like they would be good as opposed to the traditional style wedge anchors for no more than we're doing here. What I did not account for is when they say 1/2-inch, it is 1/2-inch bolt size. Takes a 5/8 drill bit, and I bought 1/2-inch drill bit. So we'll try and rectify that and then pick this back up. Okay, so got ourselves into town, picked up a new drill bit, got it installed in the drill, got our depth gauge set. You can see there by my finger, it's a set about 2.5 inch, so we don't go all the way through the concrete. Don't want to fracture it with these. So we'll try and drill these out and see if we can't fix our minor mistake here. That was pretty quick and easy. Now we'll reposition the air compressor on the truck so we can blow these holes out. See if we can't get this bracket installed and then move on to the other one. If you haven't done concrete anchors before, you blow the holes out so that when you put these in, essentially the way they work is these little slots on the end here. Once you put a bolt in, there's a piece inside that gets pushed down and make it spread out. If the dust is in there, it won't grip. You want it to grip to the existing concrete, the hole that you've made, so it grips those side walls of the concrete well. If the dust is in there, they won't go all the way down in the hole. You get some dust in there and it's a smooth surface where they can just pull right out, so you always blow out the holes. So we'll see now that we've got the right size drilled. All right, there we go. There's the first one in. Not the prettiest or smoothest installation I've ever done in my life. That's absolutely for certain. But all we really need to do is prevent this post here from moving out a little bit. It was coming out of the, it was shifting out a little bit and getting out of the concrete. Just trying to hold it in there before we do all the other work to the shed and do the spray foam for insulation and all that kind of stuff. Just sure it up a little bit because this building is quite old. I do believe this was built in the early 70s. So we're over 50 years old on it and she's still standing strong. Just needs a little love and we'll make it a good usable space again. Okay, getting ready to wrap up the day. So far I got those boards at the end screwed on a little bit better at least. These boards around the bottom of the building are the old tongue and groove that were original from the barn. The plan is to leave them in place. We'll add a wainscot to the building on the outside, so we'll have some sheet metal covering them. They'll protect everything, get it weathered in, so I'm not too worried about the light gaps you see down here since we're going to put steel on top of that anyway. And then once the steel's on top, we're going to spray foam this whole place anyway, which will lock everything together even more and make it even more weatherproof. So our next thing we will move on to, whether I get to start on it today or not, is prepping the concrete for the holes in the floor and for where this bunk is sitting. You can see that this is an L down and over. It was the old feed bunk back in the day when this was originally built for the dairy cows, and it stops right here. So to keep the water out, to keep the wall consistent across there, we're going to cut a little edge of the slab off of the concrete on the outside where the ramp underneath here, that ramp where it meets the slab out there. I'll try and notch out that slab across there, dig down a little bit, put some rebar into the existing concrete, now lock it all together, get that formed up so we can hopefully get concrete poured and starting to set before we get some cold weather that'll freeze here. So next steps, figure out what we're doing for Dad's bunks in the meantime and start in on that.